Welcome, travelers, to High Fantasy. I'm Brett. I clapped and I shouldn't have clapped. You got me clapping. I need my herb pouch. Daddy's been paying for my salt.
This
I'm part of the poop patrol, ma'am.
And I'm Emily. But I'm like, don't make the robots.
Don't make the robots
crunch. I would take Speak with Dinosaur in a second. I have beef with DC. It's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Join us on our epic world-spanning adventures. Armed with only a bit of long-bottom leaf, we will delve into some of the most amazing worlds of imagination that have ever existed. Before we get into that, don't forget to check out our Patreon if you want to support the channel. And without further ado, let's get into it.
You can clap. You can.
Yay! Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of High Fantasy. I'm Brett.
And I'm Emily.
And today, we're getting spooky.
I'm so excited. I just have to say we have this cute little purple light going on in the living room. It's such a vibe, and I cannot wait till your birthday's over so I can decorate for Halloween.
We have all of the spooky looking, like everything's blacked out. We have blankets on the windows. There is no sunlight in here at all.
There's like a vibey purple light going on, and it's making everything neon, including the switch, our tapestry, and the boneyard.
It's pretty cool. All right, so today, do you know what our topic's going to be about?
I mean, last time you said either werewolves or vampires, but we didn't get to vampires, so maybe vampires, but I truly have no idea other than that.
That's a good guess. But I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
Do you know the origins of Halloween?
A little bit. Not really, though.
Today, we're going to be discussing Halloween throughout the ages.
Oh, spooky.
Now, I'm not going to lie, I had a moment in here where, remember when it was like bringing rock to the peasants?
Yeah.
The Celtic people brought Halloween to the peasants.
Bring Halloween to the peasants.
Yes, so this day was originally celebrated by Celtic people to mark the end of summer and the harvest.
Okay.
So Celtic people believed that on the night of October 31st, the border between the living and the dead blurred, and spirits roamed the earth. To ward off these spirits, they wore costumes, lit bonfires, and offered treats.
We should have a Halloween bonfire when we have property one day.
Oh, we're getting into some good stuff for some traditions you and I might want to start doing.
I love it. Tell me more.
Which I think would be very fun. Now, later, the Christian holiday of All Hallows Eve incorporated some of these traditions and eventually evolved into what we know as Halloween.
I'm not going to say what's on my mind.
Now, there was more than one reason for Samhain. Druids used the thinning of the veil to predict the future, either by gaining knowledge through the spirits or by trading with gifts from our world.
Okay.
So, like, Celtic druids used to use this opportunity to peer through the veil to view and glimpse the future and to get this information from the spirits that lived on the other side, either through negotiation or bribery.
Okay, so it was like a harvest thing for the rest of the year type of thing, where it's like, where do I grow my crops?
Yeah, where am I going to grow the crops? Are we going to have a harsh winter this year? And people viewed the druids as the only people who could get them through the winter.
Oh, dang. Nowadays it'd be like, what should I put my stocks into?
yes, what should I put my... Today's druids are just the stock market.
Which cryptocurrency is going to...
Now, Scottish and Irish immigrants brought Halloween traditions to the States in the 19th century. Okay. This is where trick-or-treating and carving jack-o'-lanterns come from as we know it today.
Didn't jack-o'-lanterns start as, like, turnips? Oh, he's giving me a smile like I did the right thing.
Oh, yes, you did. Jack-o'-lanterns were originally turnips, not pumpkins, and were tied to the Irish folktale of Stingy Jack, a trickster who tricked the devil and was cursed to wander the earth with a burning ember inside a turnip.
Oh, that's fun. Wasn't Stingy Jack in the Netflix Halloween movie? Oh, what was it called? It was the one with the black family. And it was very, like, it's that nostalgic feeling Halloween movie where it's, like, kid and dad adventure against Ghost Turnip Man
that
coming back to, avenge. We'll
have to find it.
I will find what that's called before the end of the episode so that our viewers can watch it, because I highly recommend it. It's a very good Halloween movie.
Very good Halloween movie. But yes, jack-o'-lanterns were not originally pumpkins. They were originally turnips, which I thought was a very interesting. The holiday signifying the end of the harvest, but also was used as a kind of last hurrah before the dark, cold winter months set in.
Okay.
Because the Irish goddess, the Morrigan, goddess of fate and death, was believed to be very active during this time, often appearing as a crow and foretelling death and destruction.
Well, that's just not good.
Now, soul cakes are the main offering for spirits on and around the time of Halloween. They're small, spiced cakes that are left out for spirits as an offering to either the spirits of people who you've lost or the spirits that you might want to keep away from your family.
Okay.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Now, the idea of the holiday, it's been there for over 6,000 years and was thought to have been around since 4000 BC in Ireland.
Long time ago.
A long time ago.
Long time.
So thank your local Irishman for Halloween. Because apparently that's where we get it.
St. Patrick's Day and Halloween are the days you can drink Guinness and wear green.
St. Patrick's Day and Halloween. The only time it's actually okay to celebrate an Irishman. I say that as an Irishman. According to the Detroit Historical Society, the night before Halloween was called Devil's Night.
Ooh.
As there was always a huge increase in vandalism and arson. Before the implementation of something called Angel's Night, a campaign launched by the city to combat Devil's Night.
Which city?
Detroit.
Detroit, that's right. You said Detroit. Wow, okay. So, do you know what the Angel Night, is supposed to do?
It was basically a campaign for law enforcement to kind of, get a bunch of people out on the streets, just kind of if you see something bad happening, let us know. We're here. They go out in force the night before Halloween. Because buildings were getting right, a bunch of buildings were getting just straight up burnt down.
Oh, geez.
Arson, lots of arson and vandalism during Devil's Night.
Halloween is supposed to be whimsical and fun.
Yep. So
get away with your arson.
The city got together and decided to launch a campaign called Angel's Night.
Okay.
To combat Devil's Night, which I thought was very interesting.
Very interesting.
Now, there was a British version of bobbing for apples that was said to tell if someone you loved would be a good fit for you. Each apple would have an available man attached to it, and ladies would each take turns going after the apple of the man that they wanted.
That makes so much sense.
If they got it on the first try, their match would last forever, and a relationship was bound to bloom. If they got it in 2, sparks are bound to fly, but the relationship would fizzle out. And if it took 3 or more, they're not meant to be. Now, crazy enough, in Ireland, the tradition of bobbing for apples was very different.
Oh,
as it did not involve water or a bucket at all.
Oh.
Apples were tied to strings and hung off of branches of trees.
Okay.
It was, again, a courting ritual, as basically the first pair of people to get an apple were meant to be married.
Interesting. Courting rituals in general are so weird and foreign to me, but it's cute, I guess. An apple will tell your future.
Right, well, because it was the idea of a long time ago, this was just ways for...
Right, exactly.
This was Tinder didn't exist.
Oh, no, this was also back in the times where people were like, yes, I will trade you this woman for a year's worth of milk and a penance of bread.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, because it didn't, it's so crazy to think about the different connotations that society had versus now, and the things that you could and couldn't do. Because now if you think about, if you were to ask yourself, where would you go if you were trying to find a romance partner? Probably a bar. Taverns existed, but that wasn't really where you went to hit on women.
Yeah, and the only women who are really at taverns weren't, like, people of society most of the time. Like,
Exactly.
it's so weird because it truly was like, oh yes, us fathers are going to make this match on your behalf, and you can get a little bit of say in it maybe, but we still get a dowry as when you marry the white, like, we're all exchanging something and getting something out of this, aside from just pure love, people.
Yeah, you didn't really get to pick your marriage partners.
Uh-huh.
Like that, especially in high society.
Oh, yeah.
That 100% wasn't done. But nowadays, that's not the case. But you look back on those kind of more archaic times and you're like, wow. But there was also a level of, yeah, you don't really get the luxury of marrying for love. Because there are political alliances to be made, there are houses to be formed,
And there's apples to be bobbed
and there
for.
are apples to be bobbed for, people. All right, Sarah, you better get that frickin' apple, all right?
If I don't see Joffrey on that apple, then we're going to have a problem.
We're going to have a problem. But yes, so originally it's kind of crazy to think that because Halloween was brought up from this old, like, druidic tradition.
Yeah.
And then to see, like, the Celtic, like, connotations after Catholic decided to kind of adapt the holiday. There was a lot of stuff that changed, and the idea of how it changed was very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Also, did you know that the Headless Horseman myth is actually from Celtic legend?
I did not know it was a Celtic myth.
It was adapted from the Celtic legend of the Dullahan, a headless horseman with a whip made of human spines that comes forth to collect souls.
Interesting. So, like, that was, like, the more European, or was it, like, colonial adaptation, I guess?
It was more of a colonial adaptation. Like, again, we had Irish and Scottish immigrants. They came over to different places and started moving around, and the stories of Samhain kind of moved around and changed to the locations that they went to. And so originally trick-or-treating wasn't a thing.
Yeah. It was just giving out treats occasionally because you're partying. You like... Interesting.
Also, the idea of dressing up was to trick spirits that might want to eat you into thinking you are one of them.
Yes, because it was the day where the veil is the thinnest, and so spirits... And it's very... Because it's very close to the Day of the Dead in Hispanic culture, right? And so it feels like they're... Like, obviously they're from completely different cultures, but there is that overlap of, like, okay, we have kind of, like, these same sort of beliefs, but you celebrate it in a, like, completely different way.
Exactly. Very, very different. Because it's not as much to, like, respect the dead that have passed. It's to keep evil spirits away from you that have already passed that might want to come through the veil and affect the living in a very negative way. Now, there is definitely that aspect of, like, oh, my brother died and I'm leaving snacks out for him because he passed away. And I think that's really sweet and extremely nice.
But it was more led with fear.
But it was definitely more led with fear.
That it was like, oh, this is lovely, and this is like an honor tradition. This is like, be afraid, bitches!
Be afraid, because who knows what spirits might be coming for you on the last day of the harvest. Ooh. So
I love it.
It was meant to symbolize the end of the good times and the beginning of the bad times, because winter's coming and it's cold.
Oh boy. And it makes so much sense. Like, what's more ominous to a pilgrim than a snowy winter?
Yes. So basically a lot of the myths and mythologies that go around Halloween can be traced back to a lot of Celtic holidays or traditions or myths, which I found to be very, very interesting and very fun and cool. One such tale being of the puka, a shape-shifting spirit that can bring good or bad luck, sometimes appearing as a horse, goat, or other animal.
The puka? It makes me so happy. I just rewatched Hilda. And Hilda is like a kid's show, but it has a bunch of different, like, mythological creatures in it. And I never realized that a puka, like, I figured it was an actual creature, but I never knew what it was. And so that's really cool to know that a puka is actually, like, a shapeshifter.
Yeah. They were mostly known as spirits of trickery. So what they would do is let's say there was, like, in the scenario, a little farming family.
Yeah.
It might appear as Fred, your local, or your family's plow horse.
Yeah.
And you, like, hook it up to take it out to plow.
Uh-huh.
And maybe it gets done really fast.
Uh-huh.
And while you're out there, you also found a bag of money in the dirt.
Oh, wow.
And then, oh my gosh, your crush that you've been wanting to ask out for the longest time runs up to you and says that, oh, she's interested.
Oh.
So they can bring good luck.
Okay.
But it's also just as likely that Fred, the local plow horse, might, trip or something bad happens and, well, now your field is ruined. Or maybe the stuff you plant in there just doesn't grow.
Oh, boy. And right before winter?
Yep, right before winter. And it's a little tricksy, like
it's
stuff.
A little trickster guy.
A little trickster guy, but that's Puka.
I freaking love Puka.
Yeah, it's like a very interesting and fun idea on the different myths. Because the Dullahan isn't just one. Mm-hmm. There are many of these creatures.
Yeah.
And they look humanoid, but they are not humans.
So would these basically be the spirits that people are trying to ward off?
Some of them, yes.
Okay.
Yes, very much.
Okay. Oh, I want to know about all of them. I love fairy country.
Yeah, like, fairy country is so prominent in Irish and Scottish culture. Mm-hmm. It is insane. Like, I'm pretty sure Irish brought us the Fae. Like, yeah. Irish and Scottish brought us the Fae.
Oh, yeah, 1000%.
The beings that live in Underhill, which I think is a very interesting concept, but that's for its own fairy episode at some later date in Irish mythology.
You literally have my mind just, like, jumping off one another. Like, do you think that, like, cryptids are just fairies? But it was, like, it's culturally adapted fairies to more of, like, an American culture than it is more like Irish or Scottish. What would that be called? Celtic and Nordic. No?
Well, so way, way, way back when, Celtic could be described as Irish and Scottish.
Okay.
And then Irish and Scottish are offshoots of Celtic.
Okay.
At least as far as I understand. So it's the idea that a very long time ago, there wasn't Scottish and Irish, there was Celtic. Because there wasn't enough of one or the other to be XYZ. And then it was like, oh my gosh, there's so many guys. All right, well then the people over here are the Scots and the people over here are the Irish. They don't like each other very much. But anyway, so that's just a little taste of history. But I'm not versed enough in the subject to be completely right, so do not quote me. But
don't quote us. We're dummies.
That's what I understand it to be. Now for the thing that I assume is going to take up the vast majority, if not the entirety of this episode.
Okay.
Because now we know a lot, right? We know that basically Halloween originated from Celtic culture. We know that it's been around for a very long time. Potentially all the way back in 4000 BC, this holiday was celebrated. We know that it was used to basically ward off evil spirits and celebrate the last little bit of good time you're going to have before the encroaching, cold, dark winter arrives.
Yes.
Again, some people thought that this was the time that the Morrigan, goddess of fate and death, was most active, and she would appear as a raven foretelling death and destruction. So we've learned, I think, like, quite a bit in almost 20-ish minutes.
Yeah.
But I thought the best way to really celebrate the idea of Halloween, if we're going back to the roots, would be to explore an actual ghost story from Ireland.
Yes! This is what I want. Give me real life stories.
So this is an actual story of a real person who did exist in the 16th century, I believe.
Tell me more.
Or maybe around the 17th. Anyway, I forget exactly.
Tell me more. Take me on my ghost tour.
Now, they do say that Irish people are fond of a good chat. The gift of gab, as it is called. So let me tell you a tale. This, our dear viewers, comes to us from the shores of the Emerald Isles. A tale of love, of loss, and of bloody revenge. A tale of a different time where the rules of our day and age are held with very little regard, and most would call blasphemy. This is the story of a woman whose given name was Mary Rue, or known to most as Red Mary. For she was one of McMahon's, and had hair like a fiery sunset with a temper to match. Many legends have grown up around this 17th century force of nature. Some true, some maybe less so, and some she spread herself. Now, there are men who claim that she was a witch, but that comes later. Her home was the Castle Lemanau in the Burden in County Clare. Her first husband was arranged to be Colonel Nyland, an English officer, but as luck would have it, he died young in the wars with Spain, leaving her with 3 children and a large estate. After that, as a woman, she could not hold estates unless she was wed. She married her cousin, Connor O'Brien, of Lemanau, by whom she had no less than 8 children. He, however, was not a man to give into the yoke of English rule lightly. So he financed and fought alongside rebel companies, stealing sheep, cattle, swine, and other goods from English settlers. Just giving them a hard time whenever he could. He built 2 great gates to his land and estates, and none would pass unless he and his wife said so. Well, this did not sit well with the English. And they mustered a force large enough to push through the gates and demand he give all who wished it free passage through his lands. Now, all who faced Connor and lost said that it was his wife's witchcraft that made him unstoppable in battle. They said that she used dark magic to give him powers no mortal man could stand against. But his luck would run out. He joined the armies of King Charles II, dying the death of a hero after a battle against Edmund Ludlow. But he did not die. He made it home to the castle. The servants told her, and she did not believe them, wailing in grief that she, quote, hold on. What use have I for dead men here? But sure enough, battle-scarred and half-dead, her husband and father of 8 of her kids came to her chambers, and there she nursed him till he died of his battle wounds. She then adorned herself in her finest silks and lace, and went to the battlefield that Connor had died at. She went to the enemy's tents and screeched at the guard until the officers came out and reportedly said, she said this, "I was Connor O'Brien's wife yesterday, and I am his widow today." "He fought us yesterday," they replied. "How can you prove that he is dead?" "I will marry any of your officers that ask me," she answered. Well, one Captain Cooper, a man of uncommon courage, took her up on this offer and married her shortly after. Now she had to find a husband or lose her lands, so find one she did. And it was one of the men that was responsible for her last husband's death. But little benefit did he gain, however, as he spoke poorly of her late husband, Connor, and she killed him stone dead that very morning with a swift kick to the fork. A.K.A. the dick.
She killed him by...
She killed him by kicking him so hard in the dick that it murdered him. 23 more of Cromwell's finest did she marry after that, and not a one came to a good end. Marrying each of them for a year and a day, one fellow was thrown from a window, while she challenged another to ride her wild but completely blind stallion to the cliffs of Moher. So fierce was this beast that there are special places carved into his stable for servants to hide if he could hear them coming.
Okay.
She quarreled with the Protestant clergy and had her own private church built to spite them. And tales tell of her temper. It was so fierce that should a male servant displease her, he was hung by the neck, or a female hung by the hair in the rafters of her church after they were mutilated. There are many tales of her death. Some say she was sealed into a tree, left to starve to death. Others say a tree opened up and swallowed her for her wickedness. But most eerie of all is people say her ghost still haunts the halls of the castle, accompanied by evil laughter and the screams of her victims. So ends the tale of Red Mary, the witch.
Oh, shit. She's a spooky bitch.
Now, there are more tales of her. This is a specific, quote. There are more stories of her than she had children. Which is quite a few.
She had lots of babies.
Lots of babies.
So she went through, 23 husbands?
More than that. It'd be 25.
25 husbands.
Sorry, 26.
So, for 26 years, a year and 1 day each, were they all from the enemy side, or were they from...
They were all from the enemy side.
Every single one.
She basically systematically married and murdered the men who were responsible for her husband's death.
Insane. We love her. Queen moment.
Now, obviously, there's a lot of connotations to this.
Yeah.
And so, this is what I figured would require a lot of our attention.
Okay.
Let's start with the blaringly obvious part. She married her cousin.
Yeah, that's not... I don't like that.
That is super not good, and we know that.
I don't like that at all.
But the thing to keep in mind is this was a different time.
They didn't know it was bad to marry your cousin because they didn't have advanced healthcare.
In places like Britain and Ireland and stuff, this was very prominent.
It was commonplace to marry your cousin, as gross as it is.
Yeah, very commonplace to marry your cousin.
Please don't marry your cousins.
I mean, look at, the British royal line, etc., etc.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and while people like to think that's only a back hollows of America kind of thing, it's not.
For a long time.
It happened for a very, 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 very long time. But yes, so she was considered a witch, which is crazy to me because the rumor spread that she was this, and no one did anything about it.
Right, these guys still married her.
Yep. Which, again, implies witchcraft in the story because it's the idea that... And she dressed up in lace and her finest silks, and she went to meet them being portrayed as,
She's like, I'm hot, and you're gonna marry me. And in a year and a day, you're done.
I did think it was extraordinarily funny that she just killed that guy by kicking him in the dick.
I have no explanation. It's just she did it.
Yep.
She did it, and she was hot for it.
Yeah. 23 men, and not a one of them died well.
Yeah. That's crazy. No rumors were spread?
So technically 24 officers. Higher-ups in this, armed forces.
Mm-hmm.
She married them all to keep her estate.
So what about the servants? Were, the servants hired by the guy she married, I would think, right?
That story changes.
Okay.
Sometimes it's, ancient family, kind of she has a lot of money, and so she has a lot of servants. Other times it's said that the servants were brought along with the officer, and those were the ones that randomly piqued her ire, of course, and then were dealt with.
It makes sense if they were, the guy's servants that came along with him, but it makes less sense if they're just random people. Mm-hmm. Unless the implication is just she was evil and she should have never, mm-hmm. To be fair, I guess murder's bad, but, they killed her husband, even though they were cousins. It's all a thing.
They killed her husband, but they were cousins. But Now, I think the crazy thing about this story is I would have liked it so much more if they weren't cousins, obviously.
Yeah.
Because then it would just be, it feels better that she's getting revenge for the husband that she truly loved and cared about.
Not her cousin.
Not her cousin. I know. It just
and they could have truly loved and cared about each other, but cousin, that's...
Well, 8 kids, I think. I think so.
Cared about each other.
There was definitely a lot of loving going on there, but not good. Not good. But this also really speaks to, because this is true. These events happened.
Yeah.
This is historically accurate, which I view as insane.
Yeah.
But the way that she went about this was explained through witchcraft, because how could she possibly have done the things that she did?
How could a lady possibly have murdered 25 men in 28 years and 28 days?
Because theoretically, her husband Connor would have been the longest one to live.
Yeah.
People even attributing his victories and his prowess in combat to the fact that his wife was using demonic magic to keep him alive and make him win.
Right, she was...
So he must have survived for a while.
Right, she was a witch beforehand, before, technically she started murdering all these people, but she became a bad witch when her husband died.
Now, some people say that the stallion that she had, the blind stallion, was a gift from Lucifer himself.
Oh, okay.
For her dark services.
Oh, wow. That's... Wow. I mean...
There are so many stories as to, her and how these things happened. Some say that she was a succubus, which is how she charmed the men into her favor and used their life force up, but instead of people finding out that she had essentially eaten them, they died of mysterious circumstances.
Is it controversial if I say every single woman's a succubus if she puts lingerie on, though?
Isn't every woman just a succubus?
By those standards?
I don't know if that's the most or the least feminist thing to say ever.
Women are hot, and men like looking at them, so any woman can be deemed a succubus back in those times.
Oh my gosh, I saw more than your ankle.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, is that a calf I see?
So the biggest connotations to this story that I get are, imagine the idea you just lost your husband who you love and you care about. You are the widow of now, 11 children?
Uh-huh. Lots of kids.
And you have your family's land and estates.
Mm-hmm.
But as a woman, you are not allowed to hold these.
Yeah, somebody comes up to you and is like, actually, these aren't yours anymore.
Yeah, so it's basically unless you find a husband soon, you don't get to keep this.
And if she had to have a husband, she was going to have him under her terms.
And so it's crazy to think of the fact that it's if you truly love someone like that, and she lost him, and she never actually wanted to be with a man ever again, why not use the loophole of, I have a husband, you can't do anything. And then, he tripped and fell in the shower.
Revenge!
It's insane to me that her loophole to be able to keep her lands and get revenge for her husband was literally, I'm just going to marry every guy who I view as responsible for his death and systematically eliminate them through accidental means.
You're going to solve all my problems.
Wow.
She's girl bossing hard. She is girl bossing hard.
Because she was betrothed to that other guy via, arranged marriage. So her first husband, she didn't like him. There's no, evidence that she cared about him. Connor was the man that she loved and cared about.
Oh, yeah.
But, different strokes for different folks way back when.
We're not cousins for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, we'll just pretend. We'll pretend they're not cousins because that'll make this better.
Our headcanon is that they weren't cousins, she really loved him, and it was very sweet that she murdered all those men on his behalf.
Yeah. So, the idea of her using that, social status of C, and theoretically, if they were married, all of his estates should be her estates.
Aww.
So if they don't... Well...
So she's gotten a lot of estates over the years.
So she would have gotten, each one of those guys was there for a year and a day, which means they were probably moving all of their stuff in. They were probably doing... So each time with each new... I'm gonna call them victims.
They are, I mean, that's not an incorrect definition.
They were moving all of their stuff into her estate, and then, again,
no.
Reginald tripped and landed on this butter knife. Whoopsie. I would love to hear more stories about how these other guys supposedly just... Because he fell out a window. Like, what? That was so glossed over. It was just, he fell out a window. Wait.
Also, she had a church built for her, and it was just commonplace to have bodies being found in said church.
Right? Yeah, a whole church just to spite the Protestants. Oh. Wow. She disagreed with them so hard that she built a church to just go, ha, 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 ha.
Crazy.
So insane to me. So there's so many political aspects here going on where it's these people are at war, etc., etc. You have the British occupying Irish lands, etc. Again. And I think that's why she liked Connor so much, because she must not have liked British rule much either. And he seemed to absolutely hate living under the British. So he fought back against it, which is again, fair. Fair?
He was the, rebel leader that you see, he would be Luke Skywalker, right?
And not only did he actively fight against them, he funded the rebels that were fighting against them. Wow.
He is Robin Hood. Every single trope that you see of, we have to rebel against this awful force trying to oppress us, he's that Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. And she's like, that's my husband. And then they killed him.
Yeah.
So who's gonna keep with that legacy? Her. Duh.
Yeah, her. And she did. So the idea of, her getting all of these men to continue to live with her, and, she also continued to murder them, is considered that's the big part of her witchcraft. Aww. And it was the more she killed, the more she started to become evil, and that's when, servants said the wrong thing, and now they're being hung up from the church bells,
At some point it twisted a little, she went a little too deep.
At some point it went real dark. I mean, it's already really dark, and this is a very dark story, and the fact that this actually happened is crazy. Mm-hmm. But, was it really the craziest thing that happened in those kind of times? I don't think so.
She was a woman before her time.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I do love a good lady serial killer.
And she was systematic.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew what she was going for. She went after those officers surgically.
Oh, yeah.
She got them.
She knew what she was doing. She played the long game.
And it worked.
It worked.
It also meant that her lands were kept hers for 23, maybe 25-ish years without ever having to worry about finding an actual husband.
So would this be one of the spirits that they say comes through on All Hallows Eve?
I mean, again, they say you can still hear her evil laughter.
So it's called Samhain, right?
Samhain, yes.
Okay, Samhain.
Mm-hmm. That's, at the very least, that's how I heard it pronounced. If it is different, correct me. Tell me it's different. Be educational about it.
We'll learn things.
We'll learn. Happy to learn. But that's how I heard it pronounced. That's how it said it's pronounced. So we're going with that. But yes, this was a real-life Irish ghost story of the spirit that wanders around the castle. Still mocking her victims.
This is the type of person that I would want to, if I got to bring one person back to have a conversation with them, this is the type of person I would want to bring back, I think. It wouldn't be George Washington or some politician or something. It would be an actor. It would be the Bloody Mary lady.
Yep, so the Castle of Lemanal. That was her home. That was where she raised 11 children at the very least. That is where she systematically murdered 24 men. But I thought, like, all in all, learning about where it came from, learning about the places that it existed, and how culture has shifted and changed the way we view Halloween, because now it's very, like, commercialized, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the chocolate, it's all about the right costume, it's all about going to the crazy Halloween parties to get drunk and probably laid. But originally that wasn't really the case. Like, it was to ward off evil spirits. It was to celebrate that you had a good year. It was to look at the good harvest that you had, to be thankful with the people that you managed to still be with, and to kind of huddle up before everything got real bad. Because, again, winter's coming and it's cold. Like, so it's a lot of people think that the Morrigan was supposed to be because she came around so many times during like the winter times, was a symbol of how many people lost their lives for during the winter months. Which was very sad, because back then not everybody could even afford to stay warm or keep themselves clothed or eat enough, because game was, scarce. You couldn't grow anything at that time.
Yep.
So if you managed to stay alive during the winter, it wasn't super common for that to happen.
I did look it up. I found out what the movie was called.
What's the movie?
It's called The Curse of Bridge Hollow.
Curse of Bridge Hollow. That was a good movie.
I want to hear more about
Samhain?
No. Slappy Jack. What's his name?
Slappy Jack. Whoo! Stingy Jack.
Stingy. I knew it was an S word, okay? I forgot.
Slappy. Good old Slappy. Stingy Jack.
Stingy Jack. He's so stingy.
Now, there's other ghost stories, obviously, that apply to Irish lore, and I have another one if you'd like.
Tell me.
There is the stories of the Banshee.
Tell me all about it.
Now, Banshees, there's a few different ways that you can interpret the Banshee lore, but here's the main idea. Sometimes they're known as the Weeping Woman. And there's a couple ways that they come about.
Okay.
Because a Banshee is a spirit, a ghost. And most of the time, Banshees are created when a woman has had her heart broken, either by the loss of someone that she truly cares about, or by the loss of love in her life.
Okay. So I always heard that a banshee call, and I could be wrong, but I thought in Celtic culture a banshee call like signalized a loved one dying or something like that.
So the wail of the banshee, there's a few symbolizations for this.
Okay.
One, if you hear the wail of the banshee, you are destined for death.
Okay, so you're destined for death.
Soon.
Oh, boy.
No one's exactly sure how long, but it's the idea that they are the portent of death. And if you can hear their cries, their wail, their sorrow, it means that you are destined for the afterlife soon.
Okay.
Now, some adaptations of this say that if you hear a banshee scream, you will die.
Oh!
On the spot.
Oh, boy.
But most of the time they are portrayed as messengers of death. Someone sent to let you know your time is soon and to make peace with your life because it will end shortly.
Oh boy. Okay.
Now, again, the ways that they're made are sometimes different. You could have a woman who died from loss after her husband passed away, and so she was so sad she also passed away. Or maybe it was like a father or a brother, and basically like the sadness and the loneliness of feeling the loss of that person was enough to kill them.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Or their loved one, like your wife, or not your wife, but your husband, cheated on you. And that was the person you truly believed to be your one, You're only. You're everything. And the loss of the idea that you will ever experience love again because they were your only is enough to create a banshee. Woo! Okay, so yes, banshees are born via sorrow, sadness, grief, and loss. Now, there are also other stories that banshees will seek out the unfaithful.
Oh, interesting.
To murder them.
Oh, just a little bit of light enlivening.
So they don't like men who cheat on their significant others because in some lore that is how they themselves are made. So they will seek out men who are unfaithful and they will bring them to an end so that the woman does not have to suffer the knowledge and the grief that their significant other was cheating on them.
So they're like,
I got you, sis. Is essentially
it's gonna
what they
be
say.
Better that you mourn their death than you mourn their
Then you mourn the loss of love.
Oh, ooh, that's rough either way.
Some people say that there's only allowed to be a limited number of banshees in the world at a time, and when a new banshee is created, one of the older ones or the oldest one in the line gets to pass on to the next world. Some say if they ever experience true love again, they can move on to the next world.
Okay.
So in other words, if you manage to woo a banshee, and there's a lot of stories about this.
Oh, I love that. Where it's like, oh, a banshee's after me, gotta go make them fall in love with me.
Well, yeah, not if they're after you, you're a cheater. So you're not gonna be able to woo them ever. So
well, he said in some of the stories,
but they will seek out the people who, like, if they're not actively after someone or etc. etc. They seek out the people who are lonely.
Oh, so
who are looking for love and have never found it or experienced it. And they kind of tend to hang around those people. And their spirits tend to congregate around those who feel unloved or uncared for.
So it's like they got a little buddy on the other side.
Exactly.
They just don't know it.
There are many stories of a banshee who, like a person who seems very dreary and sad, and a lot of people don't want to approach because there's this air of like mysticism around them or an air of like depression or sadness. Now, sometimes it's kind of a superstition that those people in Irish or Scottish culture are maybe followed by a banshee, seeking to rekindle a lost love that they never really got to experience.
Oh.
Because if anybody's going to love them or anybody's going to care about them, it's other people who are lonely.
That's really sad.
Yeah, banshee lore is pretty depressing for sure. But there is another story here of another monster from folklore here, which I think would be very fun to talk about. The changelings!
Ooh, changelings are fun!
Now, changelings are mostly considered fae.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. And fae are affected by cold iron. They're also affected by silver in some stories. But do you know what a changeling is?
So a changeling, in what I know of them, obviously I feel like D&D is a little different. But basically what I know of changelings is that people would think that they basically change places with somebody. So maybe your wife starts acting differently. Well, changeling must have gotten her and swapped places with her. I feel like a lot of the lore that I've heard, it's like you're switching places with kids or babies, where it's like, okay, it's basically the fae being like, we're gonna swap places, so we're gonna put this changeling baby here and we're gonna take your human baby. That's what I know of changelings.
That is exactly correct.
Yeah.
Now, they almost exclusively go for babies. Because it's a lot harder for an adult. And they know it's harder to fit in. So they'll take your baby and they'll replace it with a changeling for you to raise and take care of and love and nurture. And a lot of the times, the human parents won't ever know. Now, sometimes this is more nefarious. Sometimes this is more of a trick. that the Fae like to play on people.
Right.
So they don't really need consent or anything to steal your baby.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike, humans making deals with Fae,
Yeah.
they can just take your kid.
Yeah.
But there are rules.
Okay.
If you find out it is a changeling and you can prove it,
Mm-hmm.
they have to give you your baby back.
Okay.
So sometimes this is displayed as leaving the changeling baby near a fireplace or an open area, with some display of proof that it is not human.
Okay. So, like, touching
Oh,
iron to their skin and it burns or something.
exactly. And then in some cases, the changeling immediately shows its true form and will run away.
Okay.
And it has to bring the kid back.
Interesting. So changelings themselves are like their own sentient thing. Like
Yep.
if you were to say like a fairy is a species within the Fae, that a changeling would be like a species.
Yep, a species.
And they're basically shape changers.
Yep, kind of like the cuckoo bird, like getting someone else to raise your kid for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a pretty big changeling thing. The funny thing is, changelings, like, the reason that they take humans is for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
Now, a human baby is a great trading item to have as a fae.
I mean, it makes sense. That's a human baby.
Uh-huh. So there's a lot of things that other fae would trade for a human baby.
Okay, like
power, influence, a spot at the table, favors. Fae love their favors. Because changelings are kind of bottom rung. They like not a whole lot of Fae hierarchy cares about changelings for the most part. And so it's a good way to gain influence. See, I did it. I grabbed one of the kids and nobody even knows. Kind of thing.
So, as a changeling in that regard, then, like, they, I guess, are they doing it more for the love and affection from the humans or just to see if they can?
Bit of both.
Okay.
So the changeling that gets swapped out is generally like an actual adolescent changeling. Like
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's younger.
It's a baby changeling.
It's kind of a baby, kind of yes and no. So it is for the idea that, oh sweet, I don't have to raise this kid. Like, this is so awesome. Like, it can grow up with the nurturing and care of the humans. Now that's the nice version. The more grim, dark version is it's growing up to eat the parents.
That is more grim and dark. And then I guess furthermore, my question then is, what happens to the baby?
Depends. If it gets traded to another Fae, then, well, that Fae decides what they want to do with it. So babies are used for many things by the Fae. Sometimes they just want a kid. That's actively a thing. Raised by the Fae is an actual thing that can happen to people.
Changelings over here like, I'd rather have a human kid than a changeling kid, so...
And if this happens, sometimes that child can turn into a Fae. Because if it is raised fully on the milk and honey of the Fae, it might itself turn into a fairy.
Look, okay. If my parents came to me one day and said, Emily, I gotta tell you this story. You were actually taken by a changeling when you were a baby. And, don't worry though, we got you back. I would be pissed. I'd be like, excuse me, I could have been a fairy? And you robbed me of that?
Now again, that's generally the nice version.
Yeah, that's the nice version. I could have gotten eaten.
Yep, the grimdark version is the changelings eat them.
Yeah, but then if they find out that the other baby is a changeling, then how do they get the baby back?
You don't. You get a favor.
I don't know. I still think I'd be pissed. I want the chance to be a fairy. It's just a chance. It's just a chance. It's just a chance I get what if I became a fairy? That'd be pretty cool. I would terrorize a forest. I would steal a baby. Steal a baby!
Wow, what the hell?
Just some whimsical things you do as a fairy.
Okay, so the last thing I have here, which we're making great time, so good work. I want you to tell me if you've ever had any real-life ghost stories.
No. Not really. Unfortunately, here's the thing. I'm one of those people who yearns for it, so I try too hard for it. And then I feel like I get let down. Like I've been on ghost tours and stuff, but like I've never had a story where I've been like, "Oh my gosh, I encountered a ghost." Everything's been questionable. So, I wish I could say I've had a ghost encounter, but I truly haven't. I've tried. I've tried and I've wanted one. And they say be careful what you wish for. So, I don't like want it that badly, but I never have, unfortunately. Have you ever had a ghost encounter?
So I'm going to say I haven't had anything that I can prove.
Yeah.
That's maybe a great way to experience it. And ghost is a relative term, right? A spirit who has passed from this, our material life, to some form of afterlife and an experience that you've had with this incorporeal being.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I can say I've seen stuff, but I don't know if that's like my brain making up things because I needed to have a reason for something.
Okay, skeptic, we get it. What's the story?
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Fully cut me off. Rude.
You're skeptical. It might not have been a ghost. Now tell me what it is.
Tell me what it is. So there were a few experiences, and I can't even remember some of them, but I am told of this.
Okay.
So when I was a child,
Mm-hmm.
I was in a pretty bad car accident with my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a truck. She basically went off of the road, and there was like a bunch of trees and like forest on that side of the road. Fully rolled the truck multiple times.
Oof.
And it landed on its top.
Yeah.
She had to break the glass because the door was jammed.
Your grandma's a little person.
And she could smell gas. So she broke the glass and with her bare hands, and she got me out of the car, and she crawled with me on her back up the hill to get to a car to flag them down for help.
Damn, Grandma Fran.
Now, and she still has scars in her hands from this event because she cut up her hands bad doing this. But I don't remember this. But apparently, in the hospital, for whatever reason, somebody had brought photo albums because she was going to be in the hospital for a while. And I, as a kid, kept pointing to this one person who I had never seen in my life. And I kept saying her name. Pearl. That was my great-grandma Pearl. No one had ever shown me a picture of her. She died before I was born. But it was the idea that she was there protecting us. And maybe I was able to see something that other people couldn't.
Man, kids are creepy. I love it.
Kids are creepy. I love it. Wow.
Kids, maybe that's what I'll do my episode on, is the creepy thing children say.
The creepy things that kids do and say.
Oh, that's creepy, but cool. Like, that's a pretty cool thought.
Because it's also the question of, like, are spirits good and evil inherently?
No, I don't think so.
Are there guardian angels looking out for us and devils on our shoulder trying to tell us to do bad? Who knows? Not me.
I don't know.
I do not claim to understand the spiritual world. I do not claim to understand the supernatural. It'd just be cool to be a part of it.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty dope.
I think all of the ideas of spirituality and supernatural ideas are very interesting and super fun. I love going through different mythologies, finding out the things that they were based in, and kind of learning where the ideas for vampires and werewolves and the creatures that stalk the night and angels and spirits that lead people to a better life. They're so cool. Mm-hmm. It's so neat to think that spirits are real, that angels are real, but the problem is, for me, if you believe that there are spirits of kindness and love, spirits that are always looking out for you and trying to do their best to make sure that you stay on a good path in life, guardian angels, if you will, you have to believe that there is something there, a force opposing them. Mm-hmm. But on the other side of that coin, if you believe that devils are real, if you think that there is something that is causing awful in the world beyond what we already exist and experience with today, I think you have to believe that there are forces of good in that same regard.
That's fair. I stand by it. I want like one good ghost story. I want like one. Like, I don't look, just like one decent ghost story. I'm not even gonna say good. Like, I don't need a Conjuring level ghost story. I just need.
I don't want a Conjuring level ghost story.
No, thank you.
No possession.
I am
thanks.
good. I am good. But just like a good little like creepy one where it's like, oh, there was a dude at the end of my bed and then he disappeared. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. I want a ghost story. I unfortunately don't have any good ones. I try. I've been to the Zach Bagans Mystery Museum, people. I visited the trash ghost spot in Vegas. It's not trash, it's lovely, but creepy.
But creepy.
I wish. I've been to haunted places. We gotta stay at a haunted hotel one of these times.
That'd be fun. I mean, I feel like it's asking for trouble, but it'd be fun.
That's the problem. Nobody wants to ask for trouble with me. Over here, want to play with the Ouija board? And everybody's like, no!
Nope, I'm good.
And now you know what type of person I am at parties.
So yeah, I think that's everything that I had down. Talking about real life ghost stories, but let us know in the comments section below. Do you have any good ghost stories? Do you have tales from beyond the grave? Maybe things that have happened to you that are a little hard to explain. Let us know what's happened to you. And until then, we'll see you in the next episode to continue our Halloween spectacular. We got 2 more, baby!
Yeah, baby!
2 more episodes after this for Halloween. So join us again soon and next time. And until then, goodbye, everybody!
Bye!